In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the guitar inside this box. If you don't know Kirstein.de, they are one of the biggest retailers here in Europe. And if you're not in Europe and you fall in love with this guitar, well, I'm sure there's something you can work out, and there are links in the video description. Let's unbox it and see what Rocktile have in store for us. In fact, as I'm opening it, the box took a little bit of a hit whilst it was being delivered, so I hope everything's okay inside. But that does also allow us to review the boxing strength. Paper, always good for recycling. It's just paper in there, there's no plastic or foam. There's my finger. And it's in its own little box. Wow, that's in there. There we go. Right. It's not exactly light, but it's not exactly heavy. It's a bit more than I expected. There is Rocktile's logo. I know Rocktile because of seeing them on places like Amazon as well. So Kirstein also sell through Amazon. And I've always wanted to play one. They've taped it up well. Come on, baby. There we go. So here we go. Let's do this together. It's in a bag. It's got some little polystyrene inserts. Oh, I'm going to get those little balls everywhere. Right, close that quickly. That is a good weight. Sometimes with budget guitars, which this is, the guitars are a bit too light for my liking, and sometimes a bit too heavy. I seem to be obsessed with the weight in this video. Headstock reveal. Oh, that is a headstock. It's very Big F reminiscent, but is it relic'd? It is relic'd. The headstock is relic'd. At least I hope it's relic'd, because there's some knocks and bumps in it. Right. So let's see if I can get this out without ripping the bag. It's a good quality bag, not the thin stuff you sometimes get. Look at that. Oh, it is relic'd. It's a lot more relic than I thought it was going to be. Look at that. I mean, some people are going to absolutely hate that, but I can tell you from first impressions that it's actually quite impressive to hold. I'm a bit speechless. The neck is like a sort of medium D, so it's not very modern C-ish. There's a bit more shoulder to it, and there's enough there. It's not chunky, but it is not a slim beast. Oh, caramel. Now this is the TL-RMAB. Nah, lost it. Gonna have to look it up. The TL-RMAB, which is the Telecaster-style roasted maple in antique burst. And what a lovely looking thing it is as well. So we've obviously got single coil, volume, 1, 2, 3-way switch. Oops, pulled that off. And that one. There's no push pull on that one. In fact, that could do with a little bit of work on that. Let's do that as we're here. Now you saw me take it out of the box, so there's no extra setup or anything gone into it. This is exactly as it was from Kirstein. I'm just going to pop that in there and splay that out a little bit. There we go. Pop that back on. Much better. That is a small little job that needed doing, otherwise it's going to happen all the way through this video. Right. We'll talk about the aging and the looks in a little bit, but let's plug it in and find out what it sounds like and how it plays. Pulling out those strings a little bit. We've had a bit of a heat wave here in Austria, and it's suddenly cooled down then, so I'm going to have to tune this up a few times, I would guess. Unplugged, just in the room. All my pedals are off. We're just going through the Fender Deluxe Reverb at the moment. intonation's bothering me now. It could just be the strings. The strings are not great quality. There's a lot of noise going on there. That might get interesting when we add some gain to the source. Let's do that now with the Marshall Governor. There's a lot of sustain there. I think if you're forgiving with the playing, I think it sounds good like that. I'm going to have to use the tone knob, unbelievably, on that bridge because it is super bright. I'm going to have to tune it again. I've been quite brutal. The sound for me is... The guitar, if you take the pickups out of it, there's a great guitar in here. The pickups are letting it down. The pickups are bringing forward the microphonic sounds, the sounds you don't want to hear. There's a clackiness in it that I don't prefer. But when you put this through a fuzz pedal, I think that's going to all balance out. So if you're into fuzz... I'm going to put money on the table now. There we go. This is going to go good with my fuzz. So Governor off, Big Muff on. Right, that's neck pickup. It's warm, it's round, it's a little bit muddy, but on this bridge pickup, I know this is going to sound good. Yes! So the brittleness of this bridge pickup is really cutting through with that fuzz. The fuzz can often be a little bit too mushy. That's great. I even like it on the neck. Most of the tone adjustment is in the bottom 20%. It's not easy to tell with fuzz. Hang on. So nothing's happening in that first half. There is something, but very little, I should say. Let's try a little bit of SD1. Let's try this with the Marshall, actually. I'm starting to fall in love with the guitar. I think it's because it's a very good Tele copy and I'm feeling very at home with it. One of my favourite guitars is my Fender Telecaster custom shop, which I'll grab for you. This is one of the guitars that I absolutely adore and fell in love with. And looks-wise, thickness-wise, that one's just a little bit thinner. And then body shape-wise, they're pretty darn close. That's thinner and lighter. I have to plug this in now just to do a very unfair comparison. Right. This is where I find out that it sounds better than my custom shop Fender. And I can't find the little hole to put it in. There it is. Now I've been playing it a while. It's warmed up. It's not warmed up in the temperature sense. It's warmed up in the being played sense. It needs to be played in, and yeah, it is a budget guitar. It is not going to outplay my Fender Telecaster custom shop. However, this is every bit a guitar as much as the custom shop is. It is not exactly the same, of course, specs wise, and strange choice for a Tele. But this is a mahogany body. The neck is roasted maple and it smells gorgeous and... oh, in fact, that's my favourite guitar right now because of how it smells. We've got these single coil pickups which are not going to give us everything that you do need from a stage guitar. However, if you are a beginner or someone who just wants an extra Tele, this is great. What's not great is the intonation and the setup out of the box. That can be done. That if you know how to do that, do it yourself. If you don't, invest in that because there's a lot of great guitar in here willing and wanting to jump out. It just isn't that out of the box. Regarding the relicing, I dig it. Now, I hope you can see that on the camera, but there is a little, you can feel where the paint's been, I think it's been printed on. It doesn't feel like that's been scraped away. But it has, or has it? I really don't know. I'd need to see two at the same time to see if they were exactly the same. But I think they've done a great job of a budget relic. There's a bit of buckle scratch there. That's been relic'd. Everything, it's not believable as such, but on first glance, you don't think, oh wow, they've just stuck new tuners and a new bridge on a relic'd guitar. The neck, of course, is not relic'd. That is a bit too shiny to be relic'd, but that's what's going to take the extra money, is the time. Overall, there are so many guitars at around this price point right now that everything has to stand out, and there are such high expectations for budget guitars these days, it's getting a little bit silly. So you can pick up another Housebrand Telecaster for about 130, 140 euros, and I've got one of those. They're fantastic. You can pick up a Squire for around 250, in fact 200. What you're paying for here is the roasted maple neck and the relicing on the body and a slightly different look. So if you're in love with the looks, get a setup, definitely get some new strings, and you'll be well away. If you don't do that, you're going to be left wanting more. I'm really happy that Kirstein have sent me one that you would receive. They've done nothing extra to this, and that should fill you full of confidence. I actually recently bought a guitar from Kirstein and I wasn't happy with it, had to send it back. I didn't get the best customer service I could have got on returning it, but it seems there was some sort of miscommunication between the people receiving it and the people sending the money back. And because of that, I wasn't sure if I was going to make this video. However, I didn't want to let that get between you and a good budget guitar. So I'm glad that I've made this review. Okay, there are links to this in the video description should you want to purchase one or any of the other Rocktile guitars, and I will see you in another video. Bye-bye!